I think that every high school and every neighborhood needs to have a program that is for teens to be in recovery. We really need to be doing a lot more prevention and supporting recovery to keep kids away from the amount of drug use that is so popularly going on. So it's just so casual and recreational at this point. So there needs to be some alternatives, and so again, having a support group at high schools, and having something in the community for after school time and weekends that young people who are either trying to stay away from the drugs can come together and be with other people that are preventing their drug use, or people who are in recovery can be with other people and have fun and do things to have a sober lifestyle. So I came up with a few little posters that just kind of help to show that welcome to the Canteen, a place where teens can be in recovery. So again, some little bit of promotions, or presenting the idea of people that are young avoiding drug use. That again, like I said, it's really epidemic. That I graduated from high school in 1978. I had one friend that him and I were not using drugs at that time, or drinking, and so we both of us made it all the way through high school without doing that. And I think that almost everybody else that I knew at least occasionally experimented with drugs. Most of them were social users, and that included, I knew people in all the different cliques. I knew people who were into cars, and so they were the gearheads. I knew the jocks who were on the different sports teams of baseball, basketball, football. I knew people who were religious and tended to spend a lot of time with their particular religious group, but also most of them did drugs. So again, there really wasn't a lot of abstaining all the way through high school. But I think we need to really have a movement, and it's going to take some organizing and giving opportunities for people. And so again, actual places where people could physically go and spend time with each other and do activities, maybe a social media place where you could go with your put an avatar in there that's yours, and socialize that way, because a lot of teenagers spend a lot of time gaming and on social media. So anyways, whether it's a virtual place or a real place or both, I think we need to see about doing something like that. So Canteen, one possible idea. The Recovery Revolution wants you, so volunteer to join. So again, idea of, if you're trying to stay away from drugs, whether it's because you used them and you're now trying to recover and stay away from that life, or you haven't used and you just want to be able to hang around other people who are clean and sober, to avoid hanging out with people who are using and getting sucked into using. So some prevention and some recovery. We could have 12-step meetings. You could learn how to be a sponsor and help other people. There could be public speaking events that we go out to. There could be life skills trainings, recreational activities, education and tutoring. A lot of kids who struggle in school with keeping up with the academics end up feeling like they don't belong, they don't fit in there, they're not as good as, and therefore once a person feels on the outside, they're more likely to join a subculture of drug use. So, and then being peer supporter. So we would have lots of things for people to be able to do there. So a little bit of education about Round Stay Clean as a Teen. Your body, your brain, your reproductive system are developing to your potential and future. So again, to help teens know that, right now your body is going through a lot of hormonal changes. Those changes bring moodiness and mood swings, and it's a rebellious time, that it's a natural stage for teenagers to be in rebellion and to try and define their place and where they fit, because they're not so much bonded with their family often. They're turning to their peers, and how does that work? How do they fit? But key thing is that your body, your brain, and your reproductive system are developing at this time. There's chemicals being released that were not there before, so that your body is changing, your brain is developing, your reproductive system is developing for you to have children as you become an adult. And you're putting chemicals into your body that are toxic and altering all of those things. Most of the general body stuff, if you stop using after a period of time, your body will then continue to grow and develop. But your brain development happens specifically at this time and there's a window of opportunity in which you can get back some of what you've lost. And then if you go beyond that until you're like in your 20s, especially 23 is kind of a big marker there, that your brain and your reproductive system are both pretty much fully developed at that point. There's not as much big development going on. And if you use from 13 to 23, on a pretty consistent basis, those are the 10 years when this is really, really happening in your brain and your body for your reproductive system. And you could pass that window and not be able to give your body the opportunity to come back and repair or recover from damages done by putting these toxic substances in your body. So helping people to understand that. Habits you practice now will be harder to change when you're an adult. And again, a lot of behaviors become habitual, even addictive. And so again, you spend between the ages of 13 to 23 practicing doing something for recreation, and then when you're an adult, you go, okay, it's time for me to really kind of put this beside me and mature and, do the adult things of, get a job, get my house in order, buy a home, buy a car. You may find you have a really hard time stopping and changing your whole lifestyle when you've spent a decade of your most formative developing time, kind of chasing the drugs and the drug lifestyle. So a little bit of educational stuff. Kids in sober service kind of ties back into the other one, that we would want peer counselors, kids who can be sponsors, help tutor, be leaders to others in the group. Having a peer group of people that you can spend time with and do activities and things with that are your friends. Again, peer counselors, helpers of some sort. It gives you a sense of belonging, connection, and contributing. So these give you purpose in life. If you don't have a sense of these things here, of belonging and contributing and being connected with others, you're really still struggling for a purpose, and that these will give you that purpose of that. Who am I? What am I doing? Where am I going with my life? What are my goals? So